Thought is not something you create. It's something you tune into. And that alone, I think, changes almost everything we've been taught about the mind. There is a part of your brain called the default mode network, or DMN. It is the part that's active when you're not focused on the outside world. When your mind is wandering, narrating, reflecting, looping, it builds our sense of identity. The voice that says, this is who I am, this is how life works for me. But here's what most people don't realize. The DMN does not invent thoughts. It receives them. It is not the creator. It's a pattern matcher. And what it matches depends entirely on the state of your nervous system. If your body is in a state of calm and coherence, the DMN pulls in thoughts that align with that: clarity, creativity, possibility. But if your nervous system is dysregulated, stuck in fear, stress, hypervigilance, survival, the DMN will start scanning for thoughts that match that signal. And what comes in usually sounds like, I'm not safe, I'm stuck, something's wrong with me, this is never gonna change. Not because those thoughts are true, but because your nervous system is resonating with that frequency. And here's where biology meets quantum physics. The DMN is made up of billions and billions of neurons. And inside every neuron is DNA. But DNA isn't just information. In 2009, researchers at MIT and Harvard discovered that DNA folds into a fractal structure. That means its shape repeats at different scales, like spirals inside of spirals. This structure allows DNA to stay organized and store a huge amount of information in a very small space without getting tangled. But more importantly, this fractal design is responsive. It's not fixed. It's alive to frequency. Many scientists and biophysicists have explored how DNA actually behaves like a biological antenna. Its fractal shape allows it to receive and transmit vibrational energy, not just from inside of your body, but from the electromagnetic field and even the quantum field, where all potential thought forms already exist. So your DNA is not just storing your history. It's acting like an antenna, tuning into the field and receiving information based on your internal frequency. So when your nervous system is in survival, your DNA is broadcasting that frequency, and your DMN, the default mode network, is scanning that field, trying to build a coherent story. So it grabs the thoughts that match. People always leave. I'm too much. I can't handle this. This always happens to me. Again, not because these are facts, but because they match the signal you are unconsciously sending out. If I asked you right now to think a thought, to tell me your next thought on command, you couldn't do it, because thought doesn't originate in the brain. It emerges from the frequency your body is tuned to. Your nervous system is the tuner. Your DNA is the antenna, and your DMN, the default mode network, is just the narrator picking up the most resonant signal and tuning it into an identity. So when people try to change their lives by forcing new thoughts, affirmations, or mantras, it rarely sticks because they're trying to overwrite a signal their body is still sending out. If you want to change the narrative, you don't start with thought. You start with the state of your nervous system. Regulate the nervous system, shift the signal, and the thoughts will change on their own. Not because you force them, but because you're tuned into a different layer of the field, a version of reality that actually matches your truth, not your trauma. And this is exactly what I help people do inside of my 4-week nervous system coaching container. We combine science, somatic practices, and coaching to help your system shift out of survival so that your thoughts, your identity, your reality can finally reflect the version of you that's been buried under the stress. So if you're ready for that shift, message me to join.